So, hello and welcome to Wednesday's Weekly, your weekly bite-sized briefing webinar, a collaboration between Action Together, the voluntary community and faith sector, and the public sector. So today we're speaking to Andy Williams from Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Service about home fire safety. Over to you, Andy.
Thank you. Thanks very much. So, good morning. Yes, as Rebecca says, this morning we're going to be talking about home fire safety, and in particular, the home fire safety assessment offer, which is a home visit offered by the fire service within Greater Manchester. I'm going to begin by talking a little bit about my role and the role of my team, and then I'll look at the offer and how you can get that offer, how you can access it from the community, and then looking at very much sort of the risks within fire within your home. So basically, I manage the prevention team within the Borough of Oldham, and myself as the man, and then I have prevention advisors who work within the team, and they're specialist members of staff who come out into the community, come into your home for booked appointments, and can carry out the home fire safety assessment and their advice and guidance, which we'll talk about a bit more later, what they actually do within your home. So those staff are there for you to access, and they have that specialist knowledge and understanding around home fire safety and how to access to support you to get further support and to fit specialist equipment within your home if it's required. Also, I have access to operational firefighters who will sometimes come out and do a visit within your home at different times of day. If you called it, as an emergency, they'd be able to call out and obviously support you. And so we've got operational firefighters, and we have our online offer. The Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Service website now is set up with your safety pages and community pages to allow you to access advice and guidance online from the click of a button within your own home. So if you're on the internet, you can able to link into the website and get that guidance and that advice there straight at your fingertips. So that's for everybody within the community. So what we look to do is obviously provide a service that is there to support the community and those most vulnerable to fire within the community and those most in need. So from my perspective, I'm looking to get our service offer communicated out to the community, which is why I'm here today, obviously to give you the information and to make sure that people know how and when they can access that service and how they can contact us and get that support from us. So what is a home fire safety assessment? It's a pre-arranged an appointment for a home visit within your home. Member of staff will come along and look to discuss with you and offer advice to reduce the risks of fire or fire breaking out within your home environment to make sure that you're safe within the home. It's person-centered, so it's totally focused on you, your home, yourself as a person, and the activities you undertake within your home. So we make sure we tailor our service offer, our advice for exactly what you need within your home, because we're all different. Everybody's home is slightly different. So we need to make sure that it's focused around you and we've got that good offer for you for what you need. So it's, I say, tailored to your needs, tailored to the individual. And we look at talking to you about things like evacuation planning, what you would do in the event of a fire, how you would get out of your house. It seems like quite an obvious thing. Well, I'd go out the door, but what if you can't get out the door? What if you couldn't access one of your doors? That we're looking at those sort of things. We discuss hazard spotting within your home, the things that we ignore daily that may be a hazard and a potential fire risk within our home. We look at offering you and installing specialist equipment within the home. So we'll talk about smoke alarms and such like a little bit later. And we're providing you fire safety advice to keep you safe within your home environment. This may include us signposting you to other services or other service offer from partner agencies, to get you that extra support if you need extra support. It's about you, it's about your home, and it's about what goes on within your home. Now, you can make a referral for a home fire safety assessment for yourself. Go on the GMFRS website, click on the safe links. There's an online tool which talks through sort of things within your home, the risks, and gives you all that information. And you can go on and complete that yourself and have your own referral. You can also be referred by somebody who's supporting you, perhaps. Perhaps you have adult social care support or care support, or a friend or a colleague who helps you because you're not perhaps on the internet yourself and not able to access. Well, then you can then have that referral done for you on your behalf by another person. If that's not possible and you're not on the internet, then obviously we want to make sure the service is open to everybody. There is a phone number. We can phone the Manchester Fire Service Contact Centre on 0800 555 815. Somebody will talk you through the referral process and get you an appointment booked. Okay. Well, what we're looking for within our service offer is to make sure that we're targeting those people who are most vulnerable to fire within the community. So we're not all vulnerable to fire within the community, and some of us may, when we do our assessment, come out low risk. So as part of our assessment online, this SafeLinks tool I've talked about, we have a triage process, and people will be then triaged or scored, if you like, as a low risk, a medium risk, or a high risk. If we come out low risk, and a low risk person would be somebody who perhaps, doesn't smoke, doesn't have any open flame heating in the house or such like, working person, physically able, and so on. Well, those sort of people, they're able to pop along to B&Q, pick up their own smoke alarms if guided onto what to buy, and perfectly capable of coming home and actually fitting that themselves. And we want to empower people and encourage people to do that, to take responsibility for their own fire safety within the home, to enable us to use our people, our staff, to get into homes for people who are more vulnerable. So our medium risk people or our high risk people, we want to be in their homes, giving them the advice. So previously there's been an offer from the fire service that anybody could call up and everybody could have a smoke alarm. We've moved away from that because I'm sure everyone appreciates we've got to look after the public sector funding, and we've got to make sure our funding tailors our services to those most in need. And that's why we've looked at now focusing on people who are medium risk and high risk of fire within the home and making sure we offer the free offers to them. So everybody gets the guidance and everybody can do the referral process, which takes you through if you like, a cartoon of your home online. Takes you through a load of infographics, a load of visuals, and it shows each room and it shows the hazards you should look for, where you should have your smoke alarms, and so on and so forth. Gives you all that advice. And then you're able to get your own equipment and fit it yourself. It tells you how to test it, when to test, and so on. So people who are low risk are able to self-help, which is what we want. We want to empower people to take that responsibility themselves. We're still available for guidance. If people are still not sure, they can phone up, they can speak to someone, they can contact me directly for advice. But then we want to make sure that our medium and high risk people are getting the service. So we sort of guide our service offer around the questions that we use for triaging. So do people have a working smoke alarm? Do you live alone? Do you have open flame heating? Do you use candles? Do you smoke? Do you have a physical impairment or a mental impairment? Do you have any other circumstances which would restrict or inhibit your ability to evacuate in the event of a fire? So we ask questions that look to identify those sort of risks. And then that's how we decide if somebody is low, medium, or high risk. And that's how we decide if a home visit is then appropriate. And so in the case of a medium risk being identified, it may be that a fire crew will come out. So you may get the fire engine turning up and you may get the firefighters in your home and they will give that assessment. For our high risk or very high risk cases, then that's when my team come in, specialist advisors, and they come in and look to offer that additional support, that additional guidance. So we're wanting to make sure that we are actually offering our service offer, our home fire safety assessment, to those most at need within the community. So please do go on the link, and the link will be shared after this presentation, and have a look around and see, complete the assessment. It's open to everybody, and I would suggest that everybody in the community should complete the assessment for their own home. When we're in the home, what we're looking to do is assess your safety within the home. Are you at risk at fire? Is your home safe from fire? Do you have working smoke alarms? Um, uh, Discussing the main causes of fire within your home with you, relating it specifically to your home environment, because what we want to make sure that you're safe within your own home, and we want to make sure your home is safe for you. So I've mentioned smoke alarms a couple of times, and this is, I mean, people who know me, people who work with the fire service and work with me will get bored of me saying about smoke alarms, but I can't stress that importance enough. If you have a working smoke alarm in your home, it can save your life. It's absolutely essential. Goes off, you get yourself out, you call the fire service, and that's what we're wanting people to do. But if you don't have a working smoke alarm in your home, from national statistics, which we look at for every fire and rescue service throughout the country, obviously comparing to our own area as well in Greater Manchester, you're 8 times more likely to die if you in a fire in your home if you don't have a working smoke alarm, because you don't get that early warning. What if you're asleep? You might have fell asleep in the armchair. You might have gone to bed in the evening. If that doesn't go off and give you that beep, then you won't know that the fire has broke out within your home, and you will be overcome with smoke before the fire actually gets to you. See, so what we want to make sure is that every home has that working smoke alarm. So whether you score low, medium, or high risk, I say our low risk people can get themselves to B&Q or other DIY stores. I mean, I think even the supermarkets sell smoke alarms now. Get them anywhere, easy enough to put up. I say, or get someone to put up for you, and to make sure you've got that within your home, and to test it at the very least monthly. But we advise weekly. Just press the button, and it beeps, and you know it's working. Okay, change your batteries in them yearly. Say, to make sure that it's all working for you. If you are perhaps in a rented accommodation from a registered landlord, you may have hardwired smoke alarms within your property, which is better again because they're wired up to the electric system, and you haven't got any sort of worry about changing batteries or so on within them. Looking at the fire risks within your home, what are the main causes of fire? Well, number one would be cooking. I mean, we all cook. People cook in their homes at least once every day. So we are cooking. Do we get distracted? The door goes, the phone goes. Do we leave the pan boiling, etc.? So if we've got something in the oven, we can set the timer on the oven if we've got a timer, or we look at the clock and say, well, I need to take that out in half an hour or whatever. It's contained within the oven. But if we're working on a hob, whether gas or electric, we've got pans boiling and so on. We might have hot oil boiling, bubbling away. So we absolutely don't want to be distracted while that's there, while that's being used. So cooking is our number one concern, followed by electrical items, smoking, fires or heaters, particularly naked flame heaters, and candles within the home. Unfortunately, last year in 2023, we had a fatal fire where somebody died within the Oldham Borough, and the cause of that fire was a candle. A candle had caught fire within the home, set fire within the home, an unmonitored candle, if you like, and I say it caused a fire within the home, and unfortunately, within that fire, somebody died. So it's really important that if we're using candles, we don't have them on when we're out, and we don't have them going in other rooms while we're in a different room. So obviously for your own safety.
Is that simple for incense sticks as well, Andy?
They're not a flame, if that tends to be the smoke. But if it was near materials that would be flammable, then yes, because you've got the heat. I say, obviously, with any fire, you need heat, you need oxygen, you need the air, and you need fuel. So if you've got the heat on the incense stick and it's near some, say a net curtain, something like that, something that would catch quite quickly, something with nylon in, then you've got the heat there, you've got the fuel, and the air's all around us. So yes,
Yeah.
so it is about being really careful in these cases.
Yeah,
So
positioning into it of them.
yeah, again, yeah, but I say cooking, causes over 50% of our incidents that we attend as a fire service. So our crews coming out, the fire engine turns up, it's for cooking related incidents. From us, from if you like somebody burning the toast and the smoke alarm going off, in perhaps a communal building or a block of flats or so on. So again, it's looking at sort of how what we do when we're cooking within the home. Don't have tea towels next to the hob, if because they will catch fire. Don't be wearing loose clothing. Don't leave oil or boiling pans unattended. If the phone goes, you're going to be distracted or whatever, then turn it off. Because if you're only gone for a second, well, that's fine. When you come back, it's going to get back to the boil straight away. So your food's not going to be ruined, but you're looking at sort of not causing yourself any risks. A favorite one with toasters is people. We have our kitchens, we have our worktops, and then we have our wall units above. And of course, we push the toaster back against the wall because it's nice and tidy. It gives us our workspace, doesn't it? Do we use them under the units, or do we pull them away so they're not under the unit, and then you use your toaster? So what I would suggest people do is, if you are using it under your unit, just have a look under the unit, and you'll see the color of that unit compared to the next unit underneath will be all yellowed and discolored because of the heat. And particularly if you've got some under unit lighting, try that with my teeth in. These are often on these quite sort of plastic strips now, and you'll find that they break down or they start to melt. So it's really important, to consider. We will use the toaster where it is, but what we should be doing is pull the toaster away from the unit out onto the worktop so it's got the air circulating above, and then when it's cool and we've finished, then push it back into place. But I ask people who are listening or watching this recording later on to ask themselves, do they do that? And it's a very small thing, but it can actually cause a fire. And obviously, so you're keeping your cooker, your grills, and so on in a good clean order, because a build-up of grease will then, that will potentially catch fire and so on. So it's looking about that. Deep fat frying, so old-fashioned chip pans, we advise people not to use those anymore. We advise people to look at perhaps a deep fat fryer or an air fryer. These are relatively inexpensive now within the shops. I mean, I think, probably, and particularly this time of year, January sales, you probably get yourself a better deal. But I think, for £30 ish, we can get an air fryer now, and that's a far safer way of actually frying and doing that. It's healthier and it's safer because it uses far less oil. It just uses a drop of oil. But again, looking at these risks, if a fire should break out within your home, what we want you to do is to get out and stay out and call 999. Don't be trying to tackle it yourself. Say, get yourself out the home, get yourself safe, and phone the fire service. That's what we're for. We've got trained staff. We'll be there within minutes. We've got fire stations all across GM. It's not like waiting for a taxi, waiting for a bus. We'll be there within minutes. Say there's plenty of them, and they'll come out and keep you safe. So get out, stay out, and call 999. Say they're the firefighters. You're not. Okay, so if a fire breaks out. So electrical items, as I mentioned, electrical items. How do we use our electrical items in the home? Well, obviously the safest way is use it and switch it off. But in reality, we all know we're in these electric homes now. If we have sort of, Alexas and these type of things, they're always on standby. So you can tell us put the lights on and so on, or we've got the TV on standby because we don't want to miss Pointless or The Chase or whatever's coming on next. We don't want to be missing our shows. So we need to look at how we use our electrical items. And because we've got so many, how do we plug them in? Where are they plugged in? we've never got enough sockets in the home, have we? No matter where we live and what type of house we've got, there's never enough, and there's never one quite where you want it to be in the way you have your room set out. But what we tend to find is that people will overload sockets. So if you think of the old block adapters, and you can plug 3 plugs into it, very good, yeah, very convenient. Everything's plugged in. Is it safe? On a trailer socket, you got it on the floor, it might have six sockets on it. We can plug 6 things in. Is that safe? Well, no, because for every socket on the wall, even if it's a double, for each single one, 13 amps. That's why the biggest fuse you can buy is a 13 amp fuse. So you should only have 13 amps running through it. So effectively that is 2 5 amp products and a 3 amp product, or again, you've got to work it out like that. How many 3 amps can I get in this? How many 5 amps and a 3 amp can I get in? If you've got 113, then no. So you've got to know your products, know what fuse is in the plugs. And even if they're molded plugs fitted on the appliance when it comes, and we should never cut those off to put longer, we should never be doing that. We should use them as they are. If you take that fuse out, you'll see what fuse it is. And it's just a case of screwdriving in a little slot and you can see what the fuse is. So then you know what the fuse is, because obviously if you need to replace it, you want the same fuse to protect your product. And you need to know how many you're putting in each socket. So never more than 13 amps in one socket. If you use a trailer socket, make sure you're not using more than 13 amps in one of those. So again, it's looking at how we use our home, how we use the electrical items within our home. So 5 amp, 5 amp, 3 amp is fine. And that gives us 1 spare on our 4 trailer socket, or it gives us 3 spare on a 6 one. So you'd be asking, so why do we sell them with 6 on? Because it's convenient for people, but you shouldn't be using all those appliances. So if you've got I don't know, perhaps behind your TV, you've got a sound bar and etc. DVD player, if you still use DVD players or so on. If you've got them all plugged in, that's fine. But if you're not using them all, unplug the ones you're not using and just make sure you're only running 13 amps. Okay, so 5 in your telly, in your TV, that's fine. Perhaps 3 amps in a lamp, that's fine. But if that's all you're actually using at that time, then you don't need it. If you've got a Digibox or whatever, Skybox, that'll be 5 amp as well. So the 3 of those going is fine, but you don't need to have everything else plugged in. So it's looking at that and making those sorts of decisions. And obviously things like, your smaller appliances, heaters, if you're not using it, unplug it. Hair straighteners, hair dryers, this type of equipment. Obviously, unplug those as well. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of call for hair straighteners. But again, thinking about this, one of the other big dangers I've already mentioned for fire within the home is smoking. Do you smoke? And your smoking habits within the home. Are you smoking within your home? From a prevention perspective, my first advice is to you is don't. Absolutely don't. So from a health perspective, we shouldn't smoke because it's bad for our health. From a fire safety perspective, we shouldn't smoke within the home because it's a serious fire risk. The advice is you smoke outside your home. So go to your back door. 7 paces away is good from the health perspective because you're not blowing the smoke back into your home. But from a fire safety perspective as well, you extinguish the cigarette outside properly, and then there's no fire risk within the home. If you do smoke within the home, the advice is obviously don't smoke when you're using medication or under the influence of alcohol, because obviously those may impair your judgment and you may drop a cigarette or drop some ash and that starts a fire. If you again smoking in the home, make sure you've got a proper ashtray and you put it out, the cigarette, make sure it's put out. And then at the end, when you finish with the ashtray, bit of water in it, make sure nothing going to ignite again. For people, there may be people who are infirm in the community and are bedbound and still smoke. So obviously that's a serious concern and a serious risk for us at the fire service. And my advice is absolutely do not do that. Absolutely not. But if people do, then we obviously have discussions and provide guidance around how to do that as safely as possible. Our first point is don't do it. Absolutely not. but we will work with people because we do realize we're dealing with people's individuals and within their home environment. Let's say our first cut is smoke outside. If you do smoke in the house, then follow the advice that you'll be given during the assessment. Okay, so looking at that, obviously, vaping again, sort of potentially smoking and electrical. If you're using vapes, make sure you're only buying the correct chargers and using the correct chargers for your appliance, and make sure you're not leaving them on charge overnight unsupervised. And the same with mobile phones and so on. I know it's common practice that we charge our phone overnight. It's there at the side of the bed, it's the alarm clock and everything now, and it's charging overnight. We really shouldn't be doing that. And whenever we're charging, we should be using the correct chargers. Okay, so to make sure, but we should charge in the day, so we're sure we're supervising them and we're not leaving them unobserved. Okay, say again, all of these sort of things, we need to be considering the risks within the home. All the things that may potentially make people at risk is obviously, as I've mentioned, any infirmity, any physical disabilities, anybody perhaps a home oxygen user, medical use within the home. So anybody using emollient creams, again, are potentially flammable, because they have that content within them. So again, we need to be making sure that those people are being referred, we're getting into the homes, and we're giving you the advice you need to make sure that you're safe using oxygen within your home and using any emollient cream. So again, we will give that advice as well. Saying we work with our partners at Baywater Healthcare, who are the oxygen providers across GM, and we get referrals for them to go and visit every home where somebody is a home oxygen user. Okay, and we look to offer that support. So talked a bit about the risks within the home and everything else there. So if we have the unfortunate event when a fire breaks out, we need to be able to get out, and you need to have a drill to get out. Anybody who's anybody in the working environment, we have fire alarm practices, we have fire drills. Should have the same at home. Make sure everybody within your home knows what to do if a fire broke out, knows how to get out. You need to know where the keys are. Okay, so we need to have a plan of how we're going to go out. An escape route. We can go out the front door. If the front door was blocked by fire, can we get out the back door? If both doors were blocked by fire and we were upstairs, have we got an opening window upstairs that we'd be able to get out of? And again, when we're phoning the fire service in that sort of instance, we would advise them, we're trapped in an upstairs bedroom, it's at the front, and the fire service will obviously get you out of that upstairs window as safely as possible. And again, so it's about having a planned escape route to know what you will do in this scenario or that scenario if escape routes are blocked. Have your keys and your phone on your escape route. Have them by you. So if you've gone to bed, have a spare set of keys on your bedside table, in your top drawer, so if the smoke detector went off whilst I was asleep, I wake up, I hear it beeping, I grab my phone, I grab the keys, I can get out. And make sure everybody else knows that as well. Okay. And once you're outside, don't go back in for any reason. Get out, stay out, and phone 999. And that's in all cases. So that's my service offer, if you like, from the fire service. And the benefits for people we visit are that we're providing you smoke and heat detection within your home. So if we assess your home and you need smoke detectors, we will fit smoke detectors. We fit heat detectors within your kitchen, because as we all know, we don't want a smoke detector in the kitchen because we burn the toast and it's going off and it's a pain. And we don't want that. So we fit heat detectors within the kitchen. If people are hard of hearing, we can fit hard of hearing devices for smoke and for heat as well. And the smoke alarms will also include a strobe for people for visual for people, and we've got this specialist equipment that we can provide. Other risk equipment we provide for people who are bedbound, not able to get out of bed, and will not stop smoking. We have fire retardant bedding packs, and I say retardant, not fireproof, retardant. And we have throws of the same material to go on sofas and so on, and we can provide that. And obviously we provide personalized fire safety house for you, the activities you undertake within your home and your home itself. We will signpost you and make referrals to other agencies for further support if you need. Because what we're looking for is improved fire safety awareness from you as an individual and to reduce the fire risks within your home. That's our aim. That's what we're wanting to do. Because we want to support you to be independent within your home and to stay safe at home. Okay, so we want to provide peace of mind and reassurance and reduce the risks of damage primarily to you as the individual, but also to your property, to your home. So we want people who are able to self-evacuate and be able to provide that support for them. We work in partnership with all the other agencies, local authority, the police, adult social care, housing providers. Say every week I will be in contact to support tenants and occupiers in properties across Oldham, and that's what we want to do. We work with community mental health and care services, drug and alcohol services, and we will refer to health. You know, if someone wanted to stop smoking, we will make those referrals for you as well and support you with all of that. I say, because what we understand is that we want to support people to live the safest life they can within their home and reduce that risk of fire. So we want to sort of, you know, be there, be able to support and offer that information for you. Okay. We need help from people in the community, which is why I'm doing this today. I need to promote our service offer. Tell your friends, tell your neighbours, tell them this service offer is there. Tell them to go online, tell them to ring our contact centre and to book themselves an appointment. If you work for a partner agency, then please do contact. My contact details will be available at the end of this presentation. Please contact me. Please make referrals for your clients. Please get people our service. We have a partnership newsletter, the link for which and the QR code will be shared after this. Sign yourself up with a partnership newsletter. Get our updates and find out what's going on. Use the web links. Get on. There's public and partner web links for you to be able to access our services. So please do that. I'm available every day. You can contact me. If anybody has any difficulties, then I'm happy to be contacted. My details are on our website. My details will be shared after this. And I'm happy to receive calls or emails from anyone within the community, from any partner agencies, for you to be able to access our website, access our home fire safety assessment offer, and let us get out there into the community, into your homes, to help you keep safe from fire, to reduce those risks for you and to ensure you're safe. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you.